Hey everybody, it is your boy T Macaroni, and we are back finally for another video. And CG has finally released. I hope you guys have been enjoying your release events and enjoying the set overall. But I'm going to be talking about today the deck that I've probably been playing the most as of recent, which is Ramp Lancelot. I'm a huge CG fan. I'm not the biggest Suzaku fan, but Lancelot is pretty cool, and it is doing one of my favorite things in TCGs, which is ramping. So I really wanted to cover the deck profile and just go over all the day one lists that I decided to go with and some tech options and stuff like that. But as always, if you guys like the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. I see you guys have been giving the channel a lot of support. It means a lot. We want to get to that 300 by the end of the year, and we have a couple of weeks. And if you're going to be in Orlando, I will also be in Orlando as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you guys in the flesh. It's going to be a great time. We're going to have a lot of fun, and hopefully we can catch a lot of games. But without further rambling, let's take a look at Ramp Lancelot. So as the name suggests, what you're trying to do is you are trying to ramp to 8. So the main card being the Lancelot Air Cavalry is a powerhouse of a boss monster, even though just the base Lancelot is really strong as well. So we're looking to get to that 6 to 8 energy mark and being able to play our boss monster and then just being able to end the game really easily. One of the strengths of the decks is obviously ramping into that disgusting boss monster, being able to say hey to your opponent, you need to get this off of board, is really strong. The other thing is a lot of the units in this deck, mainly the Lancelots, have double damage, and when you're taking multiple double damages, it can really hurt. You only need to hit 4 times, sorry, with double damage to end the game. So that can, depending on the board state and the hands that you get, you can actually do that really quickly. I've seen games where I've been able to extend plays where I have presenting 6 damage on turn 3. I'll make sure to do a combo short for you guys to show you how you can do that as well. But the other thing is the deck is really versatile. There are plenty of ways to build this deck. There is just the straight ramp package. There's the more mid-rangey build with the Cornelia package, so you can survive the early game. And then there is just the straight value engine by using like Charles and stuff like that, and using a bunch of different techs to make the deck really feel very different for each play style. So if you want to build a deck a certain way, you can definitely build it to tune it to where you like it to be, like I have done as well. So pretty versatile deck. I would honestly say it's one of the most versatile in current format right now, but you are free to debate with me on that one. So, as always, we're going to start off with the 0 energy. So we wouldn't be running a Lancelot deck without the namesake, which is Suzaku Kugurugi, just a 0 drop, and it has a get trigger. The other card 0 drop we are running in this list as well is My Wife, as you guys know, is Cornelia Leave Britannia, just another 0 get trigger. And then the other 0 drop we are also running as well is the Britannian Soldiers. It's a 0 drop, but unlike other 0 drops, this also has a draw trigger attached to it as well, which is very good for digging into our deck. Also, it has that 2k BP, which is actually really relevant in certain matchups, because we will discuss that in a second. On the 1 energy side, we are on the VV, so because we need to get to 8 is very difficult to get normally, so we are using the VV to bounce a 0 drop or a 1 cost like the Lloyd here, for example, to be able to produce double energy, especially after we've used the effect. And let's get into Lloyd, shall we? So when played, you get to look at the top 5 cards. You get to reveal 1 KMF or 1 KGF or a Special Corps head trailer card among them, add it to your hand, place the remaining to the bottom, and if you added a card like this, you get to sideline. You have to sideline 1 card. So not only will this be able to search our Lancelots, both versions, we can also search the trailer if you want to run the trailer, or you can also search the Cornelia's Gloucester if you are running that build as well. So very good, pulls in a lot of duty, and it also is on the 2k threshold. For the 1 energy on the one cost 1, it provides a nice transition into our 2 energy stuff and our 3 energy stuff. And speaking of 2 energy, we are only on 1 2 energy, which is the Cecile Krumi. It is the, if this character is active, produce an extra energy, and it has a 2500 body, which is a very good blocker in certain scenarios. But like I said, this deck revolves around all about the double energy, so we need more of that. In the 3 energy slot, we are running the Suzaku Kurugi, probably the best 3 drop from this set, in my opinion, which is when played, you get to draw a card, and it is our color trigger of choice for the deck. It is a 2k BP, and like I said, it provides double energy. So not only is it a color trigger, you get to replace itself, and you're doing what your deck wants to do in getting double energy. Insanely strong card. Other card that we are running is the Jeremiah Gottwalt. It is a 3/1 with step, and it is a double block with double energy. This is very, very strong, especially because we are a RAM strategy, so we do take a little bit longer to get online. We need to be able to protect our life total. Not only does it have steps, so that means you can put it into the front line and stop some damage. It also has double block as well, so if someone is trying to play a little bit more aggressive, you can use that double block to protect your life total even more, especially when we get into the matchup details that I will go over. You will see how that will come about. So on the 4 energy slot, we are running the Suzaku Kurugi. This one is a little bit stronger than, well, I would say it's not stronger than the other one, but it is very strong. It has step, so that means you can put it to the front line and just stop some damage. And then when a Euphemia Britannia on your field is sidelined, you may move this character to the front line. So in my day 1 build, I am not actually running any Euphemias, but in other builds that you can do for this deck, you can see how this can actually really come in handy, whether it be on the defensive. If you need to be able to protect your life total in the late game, you can play a Euphy in the front, block with the Euphy, and then push this up for an additional blocker. Or if you want an additional attacker, you can use the 0 cost Euphemia, tap it, get the double energy, and then after you go to attack phase, you can bring up this Suzaku to get an additional attacker and blocker on the subsequent turns. And then the meat and bones of the deck, pretty much why we are building this deck in the first place, is the Lancelot. So let's take a look at both of them. So the 6/1 Lancelot, it has damage 2 naturally, and then on raid, when played, you get this character gains 1000 BP until the start of your next turn. So it is a 5k blocker on your opponent's turn, which is very relevant for matchup specifics. And then when sidelined, you can return the bottom card of this raided character to your hand, and then obviously it has a raid trigger. A very strong card. Whether you are hard playing this onto the field in the front line to just be a 4k vanilla, or if you're raiding into this, it is super strong. Being able to save 5k against JJK, it is very strong, because their 4/1 UGs can't bounce this on the first turn you do this, so they have to special it, which is very strong in itself. The other thing that makes this card strong is the 3/1 Suzaku, the on play when draw one. You can basically play the on play when draw, on play draw, and then you raid into this Lancelot. If they try to remove it, you get the draw back, so you not only are you getting back your double energy, you can draw deeper into your deck. Very insane combo, very strong card. Definitely love it. We're running it as a 4 of in the deck. No, 3 to 4 of. There's a specific reason why I'm running 3 to 4 of, but 4 of is definitely good as well. But I like it as a 3 just because we need a space for other things as well. But the mandatory 4 of, in my opinion, is the 8/1 Lancelot Air Cavalry. A very insane card. So just like its counterpart, it has double damage outside of the raid text, so you can hard play this, and it's a 5k body with damage 2. But on raid, it gains impact 1, and then when played, you get to choose up to 1 character with 5000 BP or less on your opponent's front line and sideline it, and naturally it has the raid trigger. So pretty much it's a 5k body with damage 2 with impact 1, insane as it is. And not only on top of that, you get to remove pretty much anything off the front line. Very insane card. There's a reason why it's 8 energy, but due to the build, you can see how 8 energy is really not that hard to get to. So as you can do this as early as turn 2, even turn 3 in some scenarios. And man, when it gets online, it's pretty much removal bait. Like, you're definitely getting one thing off of board with the on play, but you're getting a second thing off of board as well, because people do not want to be taking 5k damage too. So it's like you're getting rid of 2 bodies just for 1 card. Very powerful card, and it's a very, very strong effect. Definitely running 4 of this in the deck. And then for the events, what we're running is we are running the unit maintenance. So basically what you get to do with this is you get to look at the top 5 cards. You get to reveal up to 1 character or 1 special corps trailer card from among them, add it to your hand, and then place the remaining cards to the bottom. If you add a KMF or a KGF, so basically any of the Lancelots, you get to choose up to 1 of your AP cards and set it to active. So this is basically a top 5 searcher that will guarantee you get to see your Lancelots more, and you get the AP back. So it's a free searcher. And then on top of that all, it's also a draw trigger. Insane card. I love these types of cards that allow you to get just free value for nothing as long as you hit. Very strong card. I like it at 3. There's argument for 4, but like I said, you really want to be seeing certain cards, and you want to be playing more of the double energy stuff. So I'm only on a 3 of in my list. 2 to 3 is the correct ratio, I feel. And then to round it out, we are running obviously the specials and finals, both at 4. So Varus, you get to choose 1 character with 3,000 or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. Or if you have a Suzaku Kugurugi and a Lancelot or a Lancelot on the field, you could choose 5,000 BP instead. So basically just your generic removal, and it has the special trigger as well, just pretty generic. And then we round it off with a final trigger. We should know what this does by now. You just need to be running 4 of them. Only a few decks can run less, but just very strong for your combo extensions and stuff like that. So that is the main deck, and now let's go over some tech options and stuff like that. So as you guys might have seen, I mentioned 1 specific card is the Special Corps Head Trailer. Definitely a tech card for sure. So activate main, you get to place 1 card from your hand into your sideline, and then once per turn, this site will gain produce 2 energy generation. So basically you can produce 3 energy off of 1 discard. Very strong effect. The only reason I do not like this card is sometimes it can feel very awkward to play this, whether you need to be able to look for a raid target so you can put it in the back. And the other thing as well is if you need to defensive raid this card, since it only produces 1 energy, it can get very, very awkward. So that's why I'm not running it in my initial list. Well, I was running it and then I cut it out, but feel free to experiment with it, and if you like it, you put it into your deck. A card that I really like and I really want to slot it in is it's in my day 1 list, in the list that we're going to take a look at in a second, but a card that I really want to run more of is the Euphemia Libertania, any of the variations. So this one has step, and then you can draw a card off of it on trigger. Very good. It's only 2k BP, but it is on a 4/2, so it is a little bit difficult to get out sometimes, but still a very strong card, being able to produce triple energy just raw. And you can see if you have this on field with 2 double energy, you basically all your 0 cost Suzakus will just be able to be played in the back line and then raided very easily, and you can use that to do some double Lancelot plays very, very easily. The other Euphemia we need to talk about, and really want to fit it into one of my builds, is the 1 cost 1. So if on the front line characters on your field other than Euphemia Libertania cannot be chosen by abilities on event cards your opponent uses from their hand. So essentially this means if you're going to try to special my unit, you cannot do so before targeting this Euphemia. So basically she gets to eat a special. Very insane card, very, very strong, and it is a card you have to play around because people will be playing this in their list because it is that strong. Like I said, I am tweaking my own personal build to try to fit this in because the card is very, very strong. And not only that, it has a draw trigger as well, so it will replace itself or it is good in life as well. The only downside is it's only 1k BP, so it's very easy for certain decks to get over this threshold. Any special pretty much will take it out, and like any like minusing effects will also take it out as well. So you have to be aware of that. But it does also provide 1 energy, so you really want to kind of use this in the late game to kind of chill in the back line there, and then push it up when you're going to do your Lancelot plays. So Lancelot is a little bit harder to remove. And then finally, the 0 cost 1 Euphemia Libertania. It's basically the switch to resting, produce 2 energy, and sack it. And like I mentioned earlier in the when talking about that Suzaku, you can do a little combo where you can like get an additional attacker if you needs be. Same thing with the 1 cost 1. You can push that up. They've removed the Euphemia, and then push that Suzaku up for extra defense as well. It never feels good to special a Euphemia, but it is a card you have to be aware of. The other tech cards I want to talk about, and it's pretty much just the cards that I feel like you could put into a Suzaku list and still do pretty well. So I have to talk about my wife. It wouldn't be a video if I didn't. So we have the color trigger Cornelia, which is when played, you can play 1 green character with a cost of 2 or less required energy and 1 AP cost from your hand and set it to resting on your field. So pretty much you get to play the when active 2 energy. You can play the 1 cost 1 Euphemia. You can play a VV to bounce a 0 to get double energy. There are some cute little things that you can do with this Cornelia, and it is also 2500 as well, so it is still can tank some damage in the early, and not only that, it does have the color trigger attached to it as well. Obviously, we're going to need to talk about her Gloucester. So when played, you get to look at the top 5 cards of your deck, and you get to play up to 1 green character with 2 or less energy requirement and 1 AP, and set them to resting on your field. Place the remaining cards onto the bottom of the deck. So in a more mid-rangey version, this can actually be really, really good, because you get to protect your life total in the early game by using this to play the, like, for example, the Cecile, the active 2 energy, or you can play like a 1 cost 1 and bounce, or you can use the 1 cost 1 Euphemia to play it into the front line and then protect your Gloucester from like specials and stuff like that. A very, very strong card in the right scenario, and it provides you a little bit more early game aggression, so you can kind of stave off the early game damage and then go into the Lancelot in the late game. Another card we got to talk about in tandem with the color Cornelia is the Valletta Nu. So if there is a purple or red card on your opponent's field, reduce this required energy cost by 1 while in your hand. So a cute little combo that you can do with this Valletta Nu is if you have the Cornelia Libertania color trigger that we just talked about, you get to play 2 costs, and if your opponent is on purple or red, you can play this onto the field as well, and it will be set to resting. So unlike the Cecile, this will just come onto the board and provide 2 energy immediately. A very cute combo that you can do in the early game, so very, very strong. And then the final tech option I really need to talk about, and probably my favorite so far, is Charles Z. Britannia. I never thought I would be saying this, but it has the effect of when played, you get to look at the top 3 cards of your deck and add 1 card among them to your hand and place the remaining cards onto the bottom of your deck, and then you get to reduce the AP cost of the next event card you use from your hand this turn by 1, and then it has the additional get trigger from it as well. And plus on top of it, it's a 3k BP. So a lot of people are sleeping on this card, and the reason why I say they're sleeping on this card is because how I look at this card is it is like a selective Gojo from yellow GGK. So it is on a 3/2, so still 2 action points, but not only do you get to pull a card from the top 3, you get to reduce the AP cost of any 1 event card. So if you use it, for example, in tandem with the live, so the AP restander, you basically get to play a 3k body for free. You get to take a card from the top of your deck, and also you will have 3 AP for that turn as well, so providing insane value. If you don't have that in hand, you can also play the unit maintenance for free to look for a KMF or KGF. So if you pull a Lancelot, you basically get to get 1 AP back for free. So Charles becomes a 3/1 instead of a 3/2. And you get a Lancelot or a Gloucester, for example, to hand. So insane value as well. You can also do combos where, let's say, for example, you just need one more body on the board. You can play the Charles and then being able to use a Varus from hand as well to being able to remove something, and you can do like a double Varus turn on that same turn as well. So plenty of lines and plenty of situations that you can use Charles. I really want to use him a little bit more to see how much value he can provide. But so far in testing, I've been liking him a lot, so I think I'm going to be adding him into my main build. So let's talk about Ram City Lancelot. So this is my day one build, guys. As always, these are always just bare bones suggestions. Ultimately, it is what you like and what you want to play. And you can tweak this to your liking, or you can change it up, whatever. So obviously we're on the 4-cost 0-1. We're pretty much running 12 zeros. We're running the VVs at 3. We're running the Lloyds at 3. Cecile at 4. The color trigger at 4 naturally. Only one of the Gottwald. The 4-1 Suzaku is at 4. The Euphemia that I mentioned, Triple Energy, is at 1. The Lancelot is at 3, like I mentioned. And the reason why it is at 3 is because sometimes you would just rather see your Air Cavalry, and then this card can feel kind of weird, just being bricked up in your hand. That is one thing that this deck is susceptible to, is those bricky hands where you just have a bunch of high costs. And then we're running 3 of unit maintenance because the card is just very strong. And then as per usual, we are running 4 final triggers and 4 specials. So this is the initial list, guys. So let's talk about matchups. So as far as matchups goes, this deck has a really good matchup into most decks. The deck that is going to give you the hardest time is probably going to be any purple deck. Purple just has so much value and can out rush you. Same thing with Ashford Academy as well. But pretty much every other deck, it is either 50-50 or Lancelot is a little bit more favored into those decks. So make sure you guys, if you want to try this out, let me know. Tell me how it goes, and if you have any suggestions, always shoot them my way, because this is the deck I think I will be taking to Orlando, but definitely gonna need to test it out. Anyways, guys, as always, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe and all of that jazz. Obviously on the road to 300, so we're still trying to get there. We're almost there, so we just need that little final push to get there. And let me know what deck you guys are going to be taking to Orlando, because I'm still on the fence of what I'm taking. This is a strong contender for sure, but I might play something different. I am not 100% sure yet, so make sure you guys tell me what you guys are going to be playing, so we can lab it out and jam it out. Follow me on X as always. Links and all of that will be in the description below. And I cannot stress this enough, guys, if you are not in the community Discord, make sure you guys join that, because that is where I frequent. Not only do we jam Union Arena games during the day and during the evenings and stuff like that, and even late night sometimes. We are a very strong community over there. We do league nights, we do pretty much anything under the sun. We talk content, we do everything there. So make sure you guys, if you want to be in part of the best community for UA right now, make sure you guys join up that Discord. But as always, guys, thanks for watching. Stay safe, stay hydrated. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.